Hi, I'm glad to welcome you. This time we will analyze the shape of an eye and individual features in the eyes and eyebrows in different people. Individual differences are what compose a recognizable portrait. Can you tell me how you recognize the faces of familiar people? What features determine who you see in front of you? Perhaps it will not be easy for you to explain this, because many processes in our mind take place on the subconscious level. Although usually we are not aware of our subconscious, we notice very accurately the difference in facial features. Today we are going to figure out exactly how this recognition system works in our head. Will it help you to draw recognizable portraits? Sure. And you can immediately put all the materials of this lesson into practice. Let's start with the general shape of the eye. What the shape of the eye reminds you of? What object does it look like? They say, for example, that the eye is almond-shaped. But the almond shape may be related only to the outer shape of the eye, and only in front view. In my opinion, the eye reminds more of a segment of an orange, more precisely the outer part of lobule, which is usually covered with skin. Why do I prefer the orange shape? The orange as a whole has the same shape as the eyeball, and the shape of lobules shows us its outer visible part. And the orange lobule shape gives us not only the front view of an eye as the almond shape does, but shows us an adequate side view. It is very important for understanding eye form as a whole. Moreover, the orange lobule shape gives us, in addition to the front view and side view, three-quarters view and all the rest of the possible positions. What are the external parts of the eye? It's the visible segment of the eyeball itself, including the iris, the colored part of the eye, and pupil, the opening in the center of the iris. The size of the pupil depends on the amount of light entering the eye. In the inner eye corner we see a caruncle or tear duct, a small pink portions of the skin. From the top, the eye is covered by the upper eyelid, a movable fold of skin that covers the front of the eyeball when closed. From the bottom, the eye is covered by the lower eyelid. The lower eyelid is shorter than the upper and doesn't move much. We have an idea of the eye shape in general. But how to draw the eyes of a particular person? How to draw recognizable eyes? Here we will figure it out now. Let's take a look at the essential features of eyes and eyebrows and find out which individual characteristics make them recognizable. What from to begin? We'll start with a markup, kind of a framework that will be the same for all eyes. What it gives us? It gives us possibility to compare different eyes with each other and understand how exactly they differ. The markup is very simple. A horizontal line in the middle of the eyes and vertical lines that divide it into three equal parts. Because the distance between the eyes is equal to the eye width. To compare the character of different faces, we'll be using key features of similarity. This time it will be key features of eyes and eyebrows. Let's start with the eyes. The eye shape is primarily determined by the position of the outer and inner corners. The outer corners can be in line with the inner corners. Also, they can be higher or lower. It also matters how wide the eyes are open. They can be narrow, wide, or medium. In the first example, we will draw the outer corners in line with the inner ones. And in this version, the eyes are of medium width. In addition, the shape of the eyelid can be straighter on one side and more rounded on the other. Sometimes the eyes are drawn in a diamond shape, emphasizing the straighter portions of the eyelid line. Now we outline the folds of the eyelids and draw the iris and pupils. The upper part of the iris is covered by the upper eyelid. Inside the next markup, I will draw the eyes of the Chinese type. The outer corners will be raised and the eyes will be narrow. Can you see the difference between this pair of eyes and the first ones? Of course, this difference is obvious. And in the third version, the eyes will be wide open and the outer corners located below the inner ones. This version is completely opposite to Chinese eyes. There are also close-set and wide-set eyes. What does it mean? This means that the distance between the eyes is less than one eye or more. This is a very important individual feature that you should always pay attention to. Now let's add eyebrows to the eyes. We will mark the line of eyebrows over each pair of eyes and draw several types of eyebrows. As you remember, the eyebrow arches are located approximately above the outer corner of the eyes. In the top drawing, the eyebrows are of the average width of the average length with the average distance between them. The average distance between eyebrows is the distance of one eye. In the middle drawing, the eyebrows are set wide apart. They are short and very wide. In the lower drawing, the eyebrows are long, thin. The distance between them is less than one eye. They are also located very high above the eyes. Depending on individual facial features, the eyebrow level can be higher or lower than the eyebrow line in our scheme. Remembering all the individual differences, key features of similarity at once, is not very easy. But practice helps to master the theory. Would you like to try drawing real eyes? Ready to get started? Then pause the video and try to depict the three different sets of eyes with eyebrows that I selected for you. There are clear differences in them. It has to help you to cope with the task. Later on, I will show my drawing and talk about the distinguishing features of each example. I wish you luck in your drawing. So let's compare what you did draw with my drawings, one by one. Top example. Chinese type eyes. The outer corners are raised and the eyes are rather narrow. The lines of the upper eyelid converge near the carancula. The lower eyelids are slightly swollen. The eyebrows are short and very wide. In this case, the arches of the eyebrows are shifted inwards relative to the outer corner of the eye. Example in the middle. The corners of the eyes are in one line. The eyes are not narrow or wide. The lines of the upper eyelid converge above the pupil. The fold of the lower eyelids is not very visible. The eyebrows are long and wide. They are very close to each other and set low, going upwards from the middle. After the arch, they bend down almost to the outer corners of the eyes. Due to the low position of the eyebrows, the look of these eyes seems glowering. The example at the bottom. The outer eye corners are raised. The eyes are rather narrow, pointed towards the inner corners. The lines of the upper eyelid converge over the pupil. The fold of the lower eyelids is slightly swollen. The eyebrows are short and set very wide. The outer corners are lower than inner. This is what is called eyebrows pointing upwards. The eyes look smiling due to the fact that the lower part of the iris is hidden under the lower eyelid and due to the wide position of the eyebrows, its usual smiling mimics. Are my drawings similar to yours? Take a closer look at your drawings. Maybe some key features of similarity are missing. Check it out. It's all for now. Hope you learned something new. I wish you happy sketching. See you soon.